All right, well, hello. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Hi, my name is Michael Clement, and welcome to Live Yoga and Meditation with Mindful Michael, as I like to call myself. So we're gonna give it about 5 minutes, 6 minutes before we get started. If you're watching this later, feel free to fast forward on through. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael. I'm a yoga and meditation instructor here in New York City, and I'm here quarantined in my apartment up in Harlem, and it's a very cozy space to be right now. I'm very grateful to be safe and sound, and yeah, I'm excited to be bringing the practice of yoga to you. My specialty is making things digestible and understandable. I have a very flowy style. Today we will be working with some standing poses, but we will be going about it for the space in the body and for the breath, and it will be, it should feel luxurious. So welcome in. So for those of you who are just joining, welcome. My name is Michael Clement, also known as Mindful Michael, and I'm connected to BreakOut Studios via Tucson. I went to college in Tucson at U of A. I was a dance major there many moons ago. And that's how I got connected to BreakOut Studios and the wonderful and incredible and incomparable Todd Wilson. And now I'm excited to be chipping in during this time and offering up some of my magic for you. And so if you're interested in learning more about me and and things I have going on, I also work as an astrologer and a tarot reader and Reiki healer. And if you check me out on Instagram at Mindful Michael, all one word, you will find a bevy of just wonderful goodies waiting for you. You can join me. I have a morning live that I do every weekday morning, and it's like 15 minutes to start your day with a nice pep in your step, with some positivity. And it's always saved to my page, so you can always check it out later. Also, every Wednesday I release a new horoscope for each sign, so you can check that out in my story. I'll be doing that after this, and yeah, I'm excited to get started. So we'll give it like, I think we have like 3 or 4 more minutes before we dig into it. And yeah, so as far as equipment that I have with me today, I have 2 yoga blocks. I like to have those nearby. If you don't have yoga blocks, do not stress out. Big books will do the trick. Or if you have like a coffee table nearby or a side table that you can kind of move closer, it's mostly about having something to place your hand on to support you as you work. So I also have a folded blanket just because I've got sensitive knees and I like to have that extra padding nearby, but it is by no means a requirement. If you don't have a folded blanket, a towel will do just as nicely. And you know what, if you don't have a block, sometimes for some of what we are going to do today, we're going to do a little bit of core work at the beginning, laying on our backs, not hard stuff, but just activating stuff. And I will probably use a block for that. If you don't have a block for that, the folded blanket or towel will do nicely. If you have none of those things nearby and 2 minutes isn't enough time to grab them, it's okay, don't stress. We won't be doing anything special with it long enough for you to freak out. So welcome in, and thanks for joining me for yoga, y'all. Yeah, we're gonna give it another like 2 minutes before we get started. Maybe another 3, just because we like to have that extra time for people, and I like to talk. Great. Let's see. Our flow today, we'll be doing standing poses that help open the hips. We'll be moving into triangle. We'll start on our backs. It'll be nice and cozy to begin, and then we will work on grounding ourselves when we get to that standing point, and mindfully bringing the body back down to the earth. Our meditation today will be something called rotation of consciousness. It's the first step in a very deep meditation that I love called Yoga Nidra, which it's a much longer meditation. It's very deep. You step into very deep layers of the mind and body, and it's beautiful. And this is the first step in the meditation we'll be doing. It's about moving your awareness through the body, and I have clients and students who have done this meditation and have felt very excitedly woozy afterwards because they're so present in their body, and I'm excited to bring that to you. So yeah, we'll give it another minute before we get started. For those of you who are just joining me, if you haven't met me before, hi, hello, my name is Michael, and I am a yoga and meditation instructor here in New York City. Yes, I am joining you from New York City, that scary hotspot, and I'll tell you what, in my cozy little apartment by myself, I'm quite safe and happy, and I'm enjoying those yoga vibes. If you're interested in learning more about me, you should check me out on Instagram at mindfulmichael, all one word, and you will find some very fun and exciting things there. Especially coming today, actually. You have a sign-by-sign horoscope coming your way a little later today. That'll be in my story. There's more yoga there. So, you guys, thank you so much for joining us here at BreakOut Studios. I'm gonna give you some yoga and meditation today. So let's get started. I'm like ready to get into it. It's 3 o'clock, and you know, I wouldn't be a true New Yorker if I wasn't on the dot, ready to go. Just kidding, all New Yorkers are running 5 minutes late. So, today, for those of you who are just now joining me in the room, I do have yoga blocks nearby to work with. I do have a folded blanket for extra padding. If you don't have yoga blocks, do not stress. You can use a big book, we'll do the same thing. Or a small low table nearby that you could put your hand on for just that extra little prop. So let's begin, because I'll just keep chattering away until it's 4 o'clock, so let's do it. All right, so we're coming to our backs, laying on our mat. I'm gonna give you that longer position to start so you can see me. We're gonna lay on the back and bring the knees into the chest nice and tight. So remember, our intention for this particular class with me is to be easy and chill. I am a restorative teacher, if you've ever taken restorative yoga. Restorative yoga is all about relaxing the body and bringing space and presence and ease. It's a beautiful, beautiful practice. And if you ever in New York, you come see me, we'll take a class. You can switch directions on this. So I'm just rolling circles to massage my low back on the earth, and I'm grounding myself in through that tailbone, just feeling the root of my body melt into the earth and get nice and soft. You might even cross the ankles the other way if it feels good. So when you cross the ankles, the hip flexors get to hug up into the body. It's a nice break. And if you'd like, you can even hug the knees tight. Take a moment to rinse out the body, relaxing the shoulders back and down. So while you're on your back, I want you to think of both shoulders and both hips relaxed into the earth. Feel that space and length you get in the spine. While we're here, hang on to the right knee and extend the left leg out to the earth. So I'm hanging on to the knee, and I have where my left leg is so relaxed and easy. That leg is melting into the thigh, or into the hip, and down into the earth. So as I'm holding this right shin in close, I'm going to start rolling out the ankle, crunching the toes, just getting any creaks and cracks out for the day. Getting that warmth in there if it feels good. Maybe you do some big circles and creaks and cracks. You're going to hang on with the right arm, elbow and arm at the same time. Right elbow, and carry out towards right shoulder. So I'm relaxed. I make sure that I have a counterbalance on the earth with my left hand. I don't want to fall over. I'm steady and stable. I'm thinking of taking this hip crease and reaching it all the way down to my toes on the other foot. Then when it feels good, nice and light, because it's still the beginning of the day for many people, you're going to bring the knee across the body for a twist. My right shoulder blade stays on the earth. I don't want to let it pick up. So this is about creating length with an inhale. And as you exhale, just let it ease a little deeper. We're not going into that point where the shoulder picks up off the earth. That's too far. The spine's unstable at that point. You don't want it. Trust. From here, we're going to move back to center. You're going to bend the left knee, catch the ankle across the thigh. We've created a number 4 shape with our legs. Right hand comes between the thighs, interlaced behind the hamstring, or on top of the shin. From here, just bring the shape closer towards you. The elbow flares wide here. It helps you open the body. I'm not hunching up in my shoulders or grabbing in my chest. I'm relaxed and melting. I want to make sure my breath space stays open, my breath is clear moving. I stay soft along the ear and jawline. Maybe making the shape move side to side, just a little rocking to help open the hip. Gently release the foot down to the earth. Send the right heel up towards the sky. Big reach out of the heel, inhale. And let's switch sides. Hug the left knee into the chest, right leg long. Again, that leg is relaxed and dead into the hip. You start to roll out the left ankle, just getting creaks and cracks, wiggling toes. Anything that's asking to wake up today. Noticing how you can start to soften all the little muscles in the face, behind the eyes. Grab a hold with the left elbow, carry out towards left shoulder. Nice and easy today. You can hang on behind the hamstring if you need, if you have less range of motion. What works for you? Don't stress if you're not all the way out over here. Yoga is a practice, and each pose, each movement, each shape builds over time for every yogi, no matter where you start or where you finish. Take the knee across the body for the twist. Left elbow or left shoulder stays on the earth. I don't want to pick up. Nice and wide across the collarbones, grounded. keeping the breath moving full. On the exhale, you're gonna start to move back to center. Bend the right knee this time, catch the left ankle. So the bone of my ankle's on the thigh, not the joint. Left hand reaches between the thighs, interlacing behind right hamstring or across the right shin. Keeping shoulders back and down, start to pull the shape towards you, using this elbow as leverage to help open the hip. As you are relaxing across the jaw, you're also thinking of softening in the feet, between the toes, the palms of the hands. Let the energy discharge. Very gently letting go, let the foot relax down. Left heel comes on up, big inhale in. And exhale, plant both feet down into the earth. So here's that part where we will use the block. If you don't have a block, folded blanket or t-shirt, sweatshirt will do nicely. If not, don't stress. So to start, you're gonna take your block or folded blanket and place it between the knees and thighs. You're hugging in on that, and you're gonna place the hands at the low abdominals. So I have my hands just below my belly button on the space, and I'm thinking to feel for those muscles. So as I gather this next position, we're engaging the core, but you're drawing the low abs up and in. This is so you won't use the hip flexors to lift the legs. So think of the belly zipping in and up. Think of lengthening hips and ribs away from each other, and hover the knees, or hover the feet at 90-90. So I'm 90 degree in my hip, 90 degree in my knees. My shins are parallel with the ceiling, and I'm not bulging upward with this muscle. It's really gathered up and in. I can place my hands by the hips if I want, and I'm squeezing in on that block. So from here, I'm gonna take 3, pressing my leg to straight as I exhale. Low back stays sealed. Inhale, long spine. As I exhale, just pressing as far as I can go, keeping my shins parallel, seeing if I can go all the way to straight. Again, I'm hollowing in and up. Inhale, coming back in. Avoid bringing the knees past the hips. Exhale, pressing as you straighten. Inhale, drawing in and up. Make it about the breath moving, then straining in the core. Last one. From here, you'll bring it into 90-90. Keep squeezing on the block. Place the hands on top of the thighs. Press into the thighs. The knees resist back. You're still drawing in and up, and you're widening the torso in all directions. Notice how your breath still stays moving. Notice how you're the one deciding how much work is going on here. From here, gently release this. Lower the foot down. Lower the feet down. Release the block. And toe heel the feet outside of hip width apart. You're going to flex in the foot and the windshield wiper the knees side to side, just releasing any excess tension that you built in the hips just then. So this time we'll take that again, this time without the block. The feet come back to parallel, feet are flat, bring them in line with the hips, make sure everything's all good. From here, you're gonna bring yourself to 90-90, leaving, actually this time let's zip the inner thighs together. So squeeze still in, and make sure you don't have that bulging in the low abs. Really drawing in and up, place the hands by the hips for support, shoulders on the back of the heart. As you exhale, press yourself to straighten just as far as the low back allows you. Inhale, draws in. Exhale, pressing. Let it be about the breath cycle steering the ship. If the breath cuts off or stops moving, that's when you're in an uh-oh zone. Inhale, coming back in. Place the hands on the thighs, drawing the thighs up towards the face. This is the little bit of heat that we need to gather to activate for the rest of class. And when it feels good, gather the knees into the chest, crossing the ankles, roll this out for a moment. All right, so from here we're gonna do one of my favorite things. You're gonna release the feet open to, or the legs open to the butterfly, and you're gonna hang out for a moment longer. We place one hand on the belly and one hand on heart. I want you to focus on breathing into both hands equally. So this is how we'll open our practice and get us all on the same page. I love doing this in my classes, because usually by now all the stragglers have made it in the room. So take a moment to take a deep inhale, suspend at the top. As you exhale, let this out with a big sigh. Feels so good. 3 breaths as one, inhaling. Exhaling out. 2 more just like that. Last one. And we've arrived. Bring the knees into the chest, nice and tight. You're gonna start to rock along the spine. If your spine's tender, leave this out. You don't need it. This is about getting the length of the spine, enjoying the control in the core, finding that moment of suspension on the hips, and choosing when you're gonna fall back. Letting it be that decision, that kind of control. So when you find that point, when you're ready to sit on up, you cross in the ankles, you plant yourself tall, shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, let it settle down the spine. So let's open out the body just a little bit more, head, neck, and shoulders before we go in. We did this last week, and I'm gonna do it almost every week because it's good for you. Interlace the hands behind the hips. You're sitting nice and tall. Before we get started, if your hips are lower than your knees in space, you can take a block and sit on the block so your hips are a little higher. It will make it so you don't have to fight to be tall through the spine. From here, interlace the hands behind the hips. Roll the heart open, knuckles back and down. You bend the right arm, so it's going behind the back, the left arm, sorry. So it's going behind the back. Place both hands on the right hip. Sitting nice and tall, right ear falls towards right shoulder. Just creating the space out of the side of the neck here on the left side. You're gonna start to rock the head forward and back. Just nice and easy. Noticing if you're holding in the jaw, noticing if you can relax, and let the relaxation go all the way behind the left eye. From here, maybe you turn the chin down towards the shoulder, moving the stretch into the back of the neck, keeping the breath flowing. As you exhale, chin down towards the center of the chest, release the hands, sit tall, inhale. Exhale, let it settle. We'll take the other side of that. So interlace the hands, other thumb goes on top. You're gonna bend the right arm and place both hands on the left hip, so you're sitting nice and tall. From here, left ear falls towards left shoulder and moving the stretch into the side of the neck. So as you're starting to move the head subtle and safely forward and back, start to notice how the head is positioned on diagonals or how it's supported. So a lot like a tent when you go camping, the way it's pulled and supported on those diagonal poles. Feel how that's the way the neck works too. So move the stretch into that forward one, into that backward one. Maybe let the chin turn down towards the shoulder. Long behind the neck, soft behind the eyes. Notice that subtle tension that wants to creep in behind the eyelids and eyebrows. Let it go, let it be. Chin falls down towards chest. Release the hands, shoulders up by the ears, sit it tall. And as you exhale, let it settle. Last thing, interlace the hands in front of the heart like you're holding a big beach ball. Shoulders go up, back, and down. So feel how that really makes you broad and strong across the chest. Feel how the shoulder blades protect the back of the heart. You're sitting tall. As you exhale, the beach ball inflates, belly button goes to spine, and you send the back of the heart between the shoulder blades. So you have a nice long curve in the spine as you work. From here, while I'm in that curve, I'm pulling my hands apart from each other. It's moving the stretch between the shoulder blades. So you maybe move a little to the right, maybe a little to the left, moving the stretch around, keeping the breath moving. And let the hands start to maybe fall down towards the lap, nice and slow, shoulders slide away from the ears. Release the hands, inhale, shoulders up by the ears, sit tall. Exhale, let it settle. So let's get moving. Release the hands, or release the block out from underneath you. Let's come to hands and knees. So we'll cat and cow and get things moving. I have my hands directly underneath the shoulder, knees directly under the hips. As I inhale, my breath is heavy. It curls my tail and crown. As I exhale, press the hands, send the back of the heart long up the body. Inhale, sinking low. Exhale, pressing. So think of extending this line, reaching long out of crown and tail. That deepens the curve. Then we're going to start to move into the side body, moving like a jump rope in the spine, scooping the rib cage around. So this is about getting all the creaks and cracks out of the spine, all those tight little places. If you find something that's sticky, I want you to pause and breathe in to expand that space. So right here's all sticky. So I use the air in my lungs to create more space. As I exhale, I free myself out of it. If you haven't switched directions, you can do so already. And when it feels good for you, start to move the body around, shifting the hips past the feet, shoulders past the hands, showing your body where it can move in relationship to your base of support on the mat. Maybe you flip the fingers to face the back of the mat. Maybe that helps you move into a forearm stretch just a little. Yogi's choice, explore, and don't be timid about it. So when you're done with all of this, I want you to let the energy peter out. Let this movement start to dissipate like ripples in the water. And when you find that floating spine, shoulders on the back of the heart, feel how you lengthen. Expand the whole back body in all directions. It gathers the core up and in. You're going to inhale, tuck the toes under, and hover the knees 1 inch. We're not here long. Expanding the whole back body. Notice how your breath stays moving freely. Feel the animal body react. Feel that activate, that rush of energy. That's your power. You're gonna step long to the plank, big inhale. As you exhale, press back to that down dog. Let it be easy. You're gonna pedal and enjoy every bit of this, sitting in one hip versus the other, one knee versus the other. Right away, I want you to notice what's happening in your hands. If you're one of those who the palms start to cup, I need you to seal the full palm down into the earth. Don't be timid with your connection to the earth. While you're here, shoulders are relaxing on the back of the heart. Feel how that's like a plate of armor. You have lots of space between shoulders and ears, and you're relaxed behind the neck. So I'm a little tight in my down dog. See how it's pulling my low back? I'm gonna bend in my knees, I'm gonna press strong overhead, and I'm gonna reach out of my hips. That gives me that straight line that I'm looking for, and it helps me get into the hamstring. From here, I'm breathing into the hamstring like I have little lungs in there, and that's helping me open out slowly over time. From here, we're gonna soften in the knees. Start to pedal out, and you're gonna start to walk your way in towards the hands. You take so much time with this. Enjoy every bit of it. When you get to the forward fold, you're gonna hang here. You're soft in the knees, you're relaxed so your heart's on the thighs, and you're truly getting a forward fold. You're letting that head hang. So you're gonna shake the head no. You're gonna nod the head yes. You're gonna roll it around maybe so, and then you're gonna take 3 breaths to rise. So bend in the knees, curl under in the pelvis. I'm gonna set up my next shot. I'm gonna move the camera. So you are rolling up with your breath. Feel how your inhales rise, your exhales send down into the earth. When you reach the top of your mat and the top of your stance, woo, I want you to take the shoulders up by the ears. Big inhale in. No, I'm not in the frame yet. There we go. That's probably better. All right. So when you get up top, inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, let it all settle down. So I'm not in the frame. We'll get there. It's fine. All right, so take the hands high overhead, reaching tall. As you exhale, swan dive forward fold. I'm wide in the body and I'm bowing in. From here, soft bend in the knees. Take a halfway lift, flat back. Wide in the space. You're going to exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. Reaching nice and long in the plank. Big breath into that whole back body. I'm making sure that you can still see me when I get there. So we're in that plank, reaching long. Feel the whole back body expand. You lower all the way down onto the mat, untuck the toes. Hands come off the mat's edge, so my elbows are at a right angle and they're pointing up. From here, come onto the fingertips and roll the shoulder onto the back of the heart. You're gonna inhale, ripple on up, feel the length in the wide cobra. I'm heavy and dead through the back legs. Lengthen the heart to lower down. Inhale, rippling up tall spine. From here, I'm peeking under my right elbow. Left shoulder dips forward into the earth. Inhale through center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder forward, peek under left elbow. Inhale through center. Exhale, lengthen to lower down. Release the hands, they're by the chest. We come to child's pose. Pick up the hips, knees wide, toes touch. Bow in nice and soft. Big inhale into the back of the heart. Exhale, softening, melt wide. Inhale, walk the hands over to the right side edge of the mat. Exhale, hip creases heavy. Big inhale. Full exhale to melt. Inhale, walk your way long through center over to the left side of the mat. Take the time, feel how this hip crease stays heavy. Let yourself soften and use your breath to get new territory in the stretch. With an inhale, walk yourself back to center. Take a moment to pause here, truly stop. Don't California stop it. Inhale, pick the hips, tuck the toes under, and find yourself in the down dog. Pressing strong overhead. Little bend in the knees, take a big inhale up into the hips. Exhale down the backs of the legs. One more of those. Exhale, softening. From here, start to walk the feet into the hands. Take your time. When you get to the top of the mat, bow easy. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Belly button to spine, drape over long. From here, we're gonna reverse swan dive all the way up, press into the feet, gather the hands up overhead. My hands are reaching high. If you can't see them, you can't, it's okay. Hands come to heart center and I'm chilling, except I'm standing tall. Let's go back in. Inhale, stand tall, reach the arms high. Forward fold, over. Halfway lift, flat back, big breath in. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to the plank. Inhale, reach long here. Exhale, lower all the way down, untuck the toes. Bring the hands off mat's edge, onto the fingertips. So they're like a little tent with the palms. Shoulders on the back of the heart. Inhale, ripple up. Exhale, peek under the right elbow. Left shoulder dipping forward. Inhale through center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale through center. Lengthen to lower down. You pick up the hips, take your child's pose. Exhale as you settle back there. Inhale, lift the hips. Tuck the toes, find your down dog, and breathe. We'll take 3 breaths here, inhaling up the hands into the hips. Exhaling down the backs of the legs. Feel how the hamstrings start to open. Maybe your down dog has already shifted for you. Can you take the inner thighs and spin them to the wall behind you? That's going to help you open out the outside edge of the legs. Final inhale in. Exhale, releasing. Walk the feet into the hands. Take your time with this. And hang out in your forward fold. From here, you're going to hook in the elbows, soft bend in the knees. You're going to sway. Nice and easy. I want to make sure that we have good view for when we get into things. Studio apartments in New York City. It's an interesting thing to manage camera angles. But this is it. All right, so I'm actually going to work at the back of the mat. That will give you a little bit more to work with, and you might be able to see my face. And since we're going to do that, we'll take it there. So while you're hanging out in your forward fold, you release the arms, and you slowly roll on up. Take your time with this. Let the heels drip down. When you reach the top, shrug it off like a big cloak, and meet me at the back of the mat. Shall we? So for this, we're going to be very, very, very active when we enter into it, but I promise we go into smooth sailing once we get there. Take the chair pose to start. So I'm pressing into my feet, I'm squeezing the glutes. My knees are not too far forward, I can still see my toes. If you can't see your toes, stick your butt back behind you. Feel how the whole back body widens, might make you lift. From here, you're going to forward fold over. Halfway lift, flat back, big expansion. From here, you're walking all the way out to the plank. From the plank, you're going to inhale and just press back to down dog. Be easy. From here, we float the right heel up and back. It's about reaching out of the leg for the space. Then we draw forward knee to nose. You're putting the foot between the hands, and you stay in that lunge position. So I look and make sure each foot is in line with its own hip. I push down through that front foot, and I'm going to come on up to stand tall. So I have my lunge overhead, and from here, bring my hands to heart center. So while I'm here, bring the hands on the hips for a moment. I want you to feel if your pelvis is tilted forward. See if you can send the tailbone straight down. Think of putting on a pair of suspenders so that your pelvis is in alignment. If that means your back knee bends just a little, so be it. I'm driving strong through the ball of that back foot into the earth, and that gives me the support I'm looking for. From here, I'm going to slide that heel and see if I can deepen a little. Make sure you don't compromise that pelvic alignment. Then, all you're going to do is seal the back heel down. It's on a 45-degree angle, not a full 90 degrees parallel with the back edge of your mat. That's Warrior 2. This is Warrior 1. So both my hips are still sending forward. Hands come high overhead, big breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to take the hands in front of me, reaching long. So I'm peeling open like I'm in a hallway. The right hand peels forward like a book. I get super tall through that spine. I'm not arching in my low back. So as I peel open, I stay in this hallway. I'm not going to my extreme twist if I can't fit in it. I'm only going as far as works for me, but I'm thinking of peeling open and reaching this front knee forward just as much as I'm reaching this back hand back behind me. From here, hands come high, you face front. As you exhale, you're going to open out Warrior 2. So now you make adjustments. The back foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat, and this front foot is lined up right with the middle of the back arch. So you're square on a surfboard or balance beam. Hang out here for a minute. So I'm pushing down through this front foot, both outside edge of the foot and inside edge, the knees tracking straight forward. And so I'm relaxing back into this leg. It's like a kickstand for me. I'm chill. I feel this. Cowabunga, brah. So make sure that you have your hips and your shoulders facing straight to the left side of your mat. You're not tweaking forward here. We're really narrow in this hallway. We're flipping the front palm, inhale, reverse the warrior. Use that space out of the waist. As you exhale, take the forearm to the thigh, and you swing the left arm up and over. So feel how it's almost like you're tossing a big cape. Feel how you roll the rib cage open and peek up from underneath the arm, the outside edge of the foot sealed to the mat all the way through the fingertips. From here, think of this side of the waist, the right side, hip crease and armpit, lengthen away from each other. Feel that expansion, big breath in. And as you exhale, left hand comes down to the earth, release the back heel off the ground, lower the back knee down, untuck the toe. From here, place the right hand on the thigh, press into the thigh to rotate the shoulder open, peeking back behind you. Inhale, lengthen out a crown and the back toes. Feel that lengthening. As you exhale, belly button into the spine, the twist deepens, it tightens. And then as you exhale, let yourself release and shift the hips back, taking a nice easy hamstring stretch. So if I do want to use my blocks, this is a great point for that. I shift the hips back behind me. I'm aiming to straighten this front leg, but not if my low back is compromised or my spine gets shortened. Use the bend, keep the length in the spine, and leverage the hip away from the heel. I'm flexing so strong in these toes. It protects the knee. It helps support, and that way I can ease the hamstring open. Again, I'm soft in the face. I'm pretending like someone's taking a picture of me right now so that I don't pull any weird faces and end up looking weird on some website, right? It's an Instagram world, people. When you're ready, rebend the knee, lose the blocks. Actually, no, keep the blocks if you're a block user. Place them framing the front foot, tuck the back toe under, you're going for the lunge. You're gonna step your back foot in for pyramid. So the back foot comes in about 1.5 feet. It's turned out slightly on the angle. I'm pressing my front leg towards straight, and that's easing my hip back. Notice how my hips are parallel with the floor. I don't have one hip higher than the other. I'm moving forward and back in space to make that adjustment. If my either leg is gonna be bent, it's the front one. You're pushing that foot into the earth to aim for straighten. You're long behind the neck, and you're soft behind the eyes. Your breath is moving up through the foot and exhaling down the back leg. So many things happening. From here, all we're gonna do, lose the blocks, and step the left foot in. You're at the front of the mat, bow over. Take a halfway lift, flat back, big inhale. Belly button to stretch, spine drape over. Take another halfway lift, big breath. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. From the plank, big inhale in, press back to the down dog as you exhale. So let's take the left side of all that. You flip the left heel up and back with your breath, reach out of the heel. You draw forward, knee to nose, gather the belly button into the spine so you have space to plant the foot between the hands. And from here, make sure you have your alignment. Each foot has its own hip to line up with. Press through that front foot and come on up to the high lunge. Take the hands to the hips when you get there. Make sure that the hips are coming up towards the face, the hip tips like you have suspenders on, tailbones dropped. Press strong through the ball of that back foot, feel all the way out the top of the head. Then from here, all you have to do is soften and deepen, slide a heel. Chill, right? Spin the back heel down, 45-degree angle. Make sure that right hip can still send forward, so left hip can send back. Then from there, reach the arms tall, relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Feel all that space. Reach the arms in front of you. From here, you're peeling the left hand open, like you're peeling open a book page. So feel how you don't skew the hips, you keep them level. And then you can peel open, you're tall out the top of the head, making it about that back edge of the back foot, sealed to the earth. I'm only in the hallway that my twist lets me be in. So right now, not at a full 90 degree. I'm not trying to be crazy with that. It's really more like a half of a peace sign. From here, I'm gonna inhale, coming up facing front. As I exhale, open up warrior two. So now make your adjustments in your stance. Back foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. This heel lines up with the middle of your back arch. It's all one line. I'm pressing strong through this front leg. I'm relaxed into that back foot like it's a kickstand. From here, flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, inhale. Take the forearm to the thigh, we're going for extended side angle. Throw the cape, rotate the rib cage open, feel the sunlight on your face, get the space out of that underside of the waist. Feeling how that outside edge reaches all the way through the fingertips. How much space happens on the upside of this body. As you exhale, take the right hand down to the mat, release the back heel off, lower the back knee down, untuck the toe. Take the hand on the left side, press into the top of the thigh to rotate the left shoulder open. So gazing back behind me, I'm still reaching out of the top of my head. Keep in line. You want this energy to flow in a nice clear space, so I'm reaching out of top of head and back toe. My inhale lengthens my spine. My exhale gently release the twist. My hand comes back down to the earth. Grab the blocks if you like. Shift the hips back, straighten the front foot, and flexing strong. Be easy here. Long spine, shoulders on the back of the heart, wide collarbones. Again, if this is all like this, I don't care where your hamstring's at, you're not stretching it. It's about creating that space. While you're here, you're softening the tendency to hold. So if you're gripping in the jaw, let that go. You rebend in the knee, plant the foot strong, use the blocks if you need. You're tucking the back toe under, take the lunge, get ready for pyramid. So back foot comes in, about 1.5 feet, turned out slightly in the back foot. and pressing strong to straighten that front leg as best as you can. The hips are level, so don't be far back, leaving it askew. Take a moment. You can even place a hand back there. Does it feel level to you? If I were to balance my coffee cup on your low back, would it fall to the ground? Or would you try to keep it level? Notice how the breath can still move through the torso. There's nothing about the breath capacity that's been cut off, except maybe intention. Take a big breath, widen the spine. Exhale, step the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Easy does it. From here, inhale, halfway lift, flat back, lose the blocks. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. Big inhale at the plank here. And this time we'll lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Come through to your first upward dog. Press the hands, shoulders on the back of the heart, big lift. Exhale, hips up and back. Take the down dog, pressing the earth away. Inhale, flip the right heel up towards the sky. Exhale, thrust forward, knee to nose. Plant the foot between the hands. From here, you seal the back heel down. We're going to warrior two right away. So the back foot's parallel with the short edge of the mat. Lead with left fingertips. Cartwheel on up. And steady yourself here. Take a moment, drive strong through that foot. Make sure knee tracks. Do you like your setup? Because we're going further with this. Make sure the tailbone truly drops. Can you widen the stance just a bit? From here, you're straightening the front leg. We're going to triangle. So think of a performer cane coming to hook you. Hooks you right in the hips. You swing the hips back behind you as far as you can, very sassy with it. Then reach out of the right hand as far forward as you can. When you can't anymore, you come to the earth. Hand on the ground, lightly resting on the shin, maybe behind the ankle or calf. Place the hand on the earth and see if you can feel yourself in this very narrow space, this triangle. So there are a lot of triangle shapes happening, but triangle is actually about this one that's in the smallest part of the shape. So what's by the waist here, think of the waistline lengthening. If you're somebody who likes a block, placing your hand on the block can be enough to help you lift and expand into that shape. If you're resistant to blocks, I suggest you try it out. It's amazing how it can advance you. From here, you rebend in the knee. Come on up to warrior two, big breath in. As you exhale, cartwheel down to the earth. Release the back heel off and take the plank, meet me in the down dog. We're gonna take that on the other side to get rid of. You can take the chaturanga through if you'd like. As you exhale, find the down dog, or just meet us there. Take the left heel up and back, big breath in. Draw forward, knee to nose. Plant the foot between the hands. Seal the back heel down. Come on up for warrior two. My left foot is back, my right foot is front. Settling in the space. Feel this presence, and maybe you can deepen when you find your form is how you like it. Then, inhale, press the front leg to straight. As you exhale, swing the hips behind you. Inhale, reach long. When you can't reach any more forward, that's when you bring the hand down for the triangle. So feel how you're lengthening out this underside of the waist, creating all of this space. Lengthening out, crown and tail. Soften the jaw, shoulders are not bunched up by the ears. There's space here. You rebend the knee. Come on up to warrior two, pressing strong. Cartwheel down. Release the back heel off. Find the plank, optional chaturanga, or just straight back to down dog with me. Nice and wide out the back body, pressing for the length. Big inhale in. Full exhale out. Inhale, soften in the knees, gaze towards the hands. Step, hop, or float to find the forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, belly button to spine drape over. Last bit of active movement before we wind down. You're going to step the right foot back behind you, and you're coming to be parallel, facing the right side edge of your mat. Your legs are as wide as feels good for you. So, wide mountain, take the forward fold, bow in. Truly get the relax at the top of the head. If you need to bend in the knees, you might enjoy that. You might enjoy the wider sway here if you hook the elbows. Lots to be discovered. If you've been around the practice a while, maybe you're crawling the fingertips in to help deepen the fold. Maybe you're taking peace fingers, this is my favorite, peace fingers around big toes. Then from here, I'm pulling the heart towards the earth, elbows flare wide. This helps me create shape. It also helps me drive the hips up towards the sky.
So imagine that you have a big spout right at the top of your head, right at the crown. Start to let all the gunk drain out of it. Give it over to your mat. Your mat is like the soil in your garden. It needs all that crap for composting. Gently release any bind you have. You're going to bring the right hand to the earth in front of the face. You can have your hand on a block here too if you wanted. You're going to shift the hips towards the front of the mat, and you're peeling the left hand open, nice and wide, nice and tall. So notice how my shoulder was rounded forward here. Widen the heart space. Feel that lift. As you exhale, switch sides. Switch the hips. Just shift them over to the back of the mat slightly. Peel the left hand open. Feel how it's about reaching long in all directions. Feel out of the crown, out of the tail, out of the feet, out of the hands. Exhale, let the hand come back down to the earth. Both hands come to the left shin, bringing the forehead towards the shin here. Nice and soft behind the eyes, noticing where your tension creeps in. Switch to the ankle on the right side, bringing the face towards the shin. Feeling how that opens the outside edge of the leg. As you exhale, gently release. And from here, you're going to lower yourself onto the mat. So you might walk through the lunge and come to sit. All we're doing is coming to an easy cross-legged position. Now I can move that closer again. So from our cross-legged position, you can have the right shin in front. If you want to take it further for the hip and this feels fine, maybe you place yourself in what's called fire log. So you have ankle and knee stacked. So it's like two little logs for a campfire. From here, let the shoulders settle for a moment. Really feel that lift through the body. Reach tall. Then reach forward. When you can't reach any further forward, that's when you're allowed to relax in, because if you have that reach, that length, you're not cutting anything short back in the spine, which is the exact thing that we don't want to do. Soften the eyes, soften the jaw, keeping the breath in a state of flow. You might enjoy walking the hands over to the left corner of your mat, making sure that the knee doesn't lift off. You want to keep that length in that space. So if it's not there, if you're losing that, don't go deeper into the pose. Find the variation that satisfies your needs and honor that. Yoga is a practice. You don't want to eat all the food you're going to eat in your entire life in one sitting. Let it unfold for you. Let it unfurl. From here, we're going to continue walking around to the side. Place your left hand at the, that would be your 9 o'clock mark. You're spinning the upper arm overhead. You're going for a side bend. I might rest my elbow down on the earth, but the last thing I want to do is let the hip pick up. So both hips are planted on the earth. This is about creating space here. From here, take a big inhale, reach tall, and let things settle. Let's reach, sit back on the hips. You've got to switch the legs. So take a moment with the hips, shake that out, and left leg is on top this time. Settle the shoulders, reach as tall as you can, then reach as far front as you can, bringing the heart. Let yourself soften over. So again, so much space behind the neck. If you're like this with shoulders stuck by the ears and you can't create space, back out of the stretch. You're not as flexible as you thought you were, and that is okay. Honor where you are, not where you're trying to be. When you're ready, you can walk yourself over to the right corner of your mat, making sure that you stay secure in this pose. You don't want to feel anything change in the lower body, except that subtle encouragement of a deeper stretch. Keeping the breath space open, notice how things stifle or stop. And then when it feels good, bring the right hand to that 3 o'clock. Elbow can rest on the earth. Left arm comes up and over. You're using that space in the waist. The hip isn't picking up. And you're nice and open. Noticing if things hold tight in the ears or eyes. That subtle tension in the face and behind the neck, that all spreads like wildfire over time. When it feels good, you're going to inhale, trace the sky. Reaching tall as you exhale, wide cactus, opening wide palms, wide heart, wide elbows. And from here, let's lower down onto our backs, shall we? So back from whence you came. You hug the knees into the chest and give yourself the nice, easy circles. So we're going to do just a few couple poses to wind down. If there's something you love or something that is along the way, you take that, because we're on our way to meditate anyway. And what feels good for the body will be all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bridge. That's my personal need for the upper body, or for the front body. I'm gonna uncross the ankles, plant the feet flat, make sure everything is in line with the hips. So when I peek down, my knees and my feet line up with all of that. I'm gonna move my glutes. I'm gonna move myself so you can see me a little better. And then I'm moving my feet as close to my glutes as I can get. So bring them nice and close. Reposition the shoulder blades so they're flat to the earth. It makes your collarbones nice and wide. Hands are by the hips. I'm inhaling, lengthening my spine. As I exhale, I press my hips on up to find my bridge. My inner thighs are engaged and I'm reaching through the tops of my thighs. I'm pressing strong through the feet. I might push the feet towards the front of the room. That's gonna bring the sternum up towards my face. I'm long behind the neck while I do this. Keeping active, keeping the breath moving, not stopping anything. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna gently lower on down. Each piece of the spine gets its turn as I go. When I reach the earth, I let that release. Feet outside hip width apart, windshield wiper, just to release the hips. And then I'm gonna do one more pose. So begin to find any final things for you. My last pose for me is Happy Baby, grabbing a hold of the outside edge of the feet. Knees are wider than the torso. This is less about, it's about the hips, but it's less about the hips and it's about the spine. So ground the whole back body on the earth. Shoulder blades, hips, the full spine, lengthening, expanding, breath moving. You might start to kick one leg towards straight versus the other. Being okay with that if that's what you want. I'm not a big fan. And it feels good. Let's take, while you're settling in, before you hit full Shavasana, take any final poses, or you have the feet outside of hip width apart slightly. You turn the toes in towards each other, the knees fall in, and you hug the arms across the body. So we call this Reconstructed rest pose. From here, you bring the elbows up towards the face, and it creates a covering. So this is about opening the inner chakras and sealing off the outer edges. It opens and lets the body flow the energy. You hang out here. I'm gonna set up and bring you into your meditation. So finding any final poses that fit for you. I want you to think of what it feels like a cupcake when your teacher asks you to do that in class. As you settle in, we're going to start hunting for those final places that you're holding tension in the body. As you become aware of that holding, allow it to simply release. Let me turn my music down just a hair. So as you settle onto your mat, I want you to feel the effortlessness of your body in the space. I want you to feel how the energy of nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, let that really sit with you. Let that be your permission to surrender, to turn inward. So as we move into this part of our meditation, we'll be doing what's called a rotation of consciousness. Rotation of consciousness means I will be giving you different places in the body, guiding you through your own body. So as I say a body part, I want you to become aware of it, aware of its sensation, aware of its presence, moving there in your mind. We'll circle through the body around a few times, condensing and consolidating, opening things up. So you'll feel it as we go. It's one of my faves. So as you settle on your mat, allow the eyes to come to a close if it feels comfortable. Feel how the body is free from task. And begin to notice the breath. Feeling how your exhales melt you wide in all directions and they allow you to surrender into the earth. Notice the subtle rise and fall of your chest. The taking in of fresh energy, the letting out of old. And we'll begin this practice by bringing our attention to your right thumb. Feeling the sensation of your right thumb, the skin, the fingernail, the joint, the entire thumb on the right hand. Becoming aware of your right index finger, your right middle finger,
the ring finger on your right hand, the pinky finger on your right hand, the back of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the right wrist, and the forearm on the right side, the right elbow, the right upper arm and armpit, the right shoulder and shoulder blade, the right side rib cage and waist, the right hip, the right thigh, the outside of the right thigh, the inside of the right thigh, the right side knee, the right side calf, shin, and ankle, the right heel, the sole of the right foot, the bones of the right foot, the top of the right foot, the big toe on the right side, the second toe on your right foot, your right middle toe, your right ring toe, your right pinky toe, bringing your awareness to your left thumb, your left index finger, your left middle finger, your left ring finger, the pinky finger on your left hand, the back of your left hand, the palm of your left hand, your left wrist, forearm, and elbow, your left side upper arm, armpit, and shoulder, the left side of your rib cage, shoulder blade, and waist, your left hip and thigh, left inner thigh and outer thigh, your left knee and left shin, your left calf and the ankle on your left side, the heel of your left foot, the top of your left foot, the sole of your left foot, your left big toe, the second toe on your left foot, your left middle toe, your left ring toe, and the little toe on your left foot. Bringing your awareness to the low back, to the tailbone, to the right side of the low back, to the left side of the low back, to the right side of the upper back, the left side of the upper back, the back of the neck, the back of the skull, the right side of the skull, ear, and neck, the left side of the skull, ear, and neck, the right side of the forehead, eyebrow, the right eye, eyelid, eyelashes, the left side of the forehead, the left eyebrow, the corners of the left eye, eyelid, eyelashes, the right side temple, cheekbone, and nostril, the left side temple, cheekbone, and nostril, the right side jaw, teeth, gums, left side jaw, teeth and gums. Softening the right side of the heart and throat, the left side of the heart and throat. Returning your awareness to your right hand, your entire right hand, wrist, and forearm, your right elbow, upper arm, and shoulder, your entire right arm, your right side rib cage, waist, and hip, your right thigh, knee, calf, shin, and ankle, your entire right foot, your entire right leg, your entire right side of the body, your left hand, your left wrist, forearm, elbow, your left upper arm and shoulder, your entire left arm, the left side of the rib cage, waist, and hip, the left thigh, knee, lower leg, and foot, your entire left leg, the left side of your entire body. Becoming aware of the back of your body, the front plane of your body, the top half of your body, the bottom half of your body, right side of the body, left side of the body, both sides of the body held in your mind, your entire body, the entire body breathing, the entire body breathing here in this space, at peace and at ease, becoming aware of the four walls around you, the ceiling above you, and the floor rising up to meet you. Gently deepening your next breath to initiate your return. Inviting small movements into the fingers and toes with little wiggles, inspiring life and letting that grow into circles in the wrists and ankles. And next thing you know, that movement is growing and you're reaching in all directions, giving a big stretch. Putting your human suit back on for the day. And letting the body be for a moment, noticing how you feel now versus when you first came onto your mat. And thank yourself for every bit of that. So when you're ready, you can make your way onto your side and press on up to sitting, and there you are, squarely planted in your day, in your week. And there you are. So I want to thank you so much for joining me and practicing with me. I hope that you had a wonderful flow and you feel more open and more present with your energies. You might feel a little fuzzy from the meditation. It's a symptom of being present and focused in your body. It's really lovely. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you so much for practicing with me and being focused and staying the whole time. I love it. If you are interested in learning more about me personally, you can visit my website, mindful-michael.com, or check me out on Instagram, Mindful Michael, all one word. That's M-I-C-H-A-E-L. And if you're interested in learning more about BreakOut Studios, make sure that you check out their website and find out that there are tons of classes happening all the time from beautiful instructors. Todd picks the cream of the crop, y'all. So I want to thank you all so much. Todd, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, y'all. As I like to say, you are light, you are love, and you are meant to be here. Namaste. Take care, yogis and yoginis. I'm so proud of you. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Yeah, I'm ready.